In this one, what we're going to do is add the different windows upstairs. So we're going to use a combination of some Archimesh elements and Archipack elements. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do here is press 1 and come into front view. And if I come over to the layers tab, I'm just going to switch on the front elevation and press Z and bring up wireframe. And just take a look at this. So this is where we're going to add the window, and it's going to be sitting on a ledge, and it's going to be going right to the roof height. So what I'm going to use is the Archimesh add-on for this. Okay, so with this selected, I'm just going to tab into edit mode. Okay, and I can select 2 points here. So I guess I can select these 2 points, Shift S and cursor to selected. I'm just going to tab back to object mode. Now again for this, what I want to do is just bring these in on one layer. So I'm going to come over to layer 14 and rename this to first floor windows. Press enter. I'm going to switch that on, and I'm going to switch off the other 2 layers there. So if I come up to create, I'm going to come down to Archimesh and I'm going to select panel window. Okay, if I come back to my layers now, I'm just going to switch on the first floor plan and the elevation. Okay, I'm going to leave this at window, so that'll give me a ledge on it or a sill. And what I'm going to do is just change a couple of these. I'm going to add a check mark to this here, and I'm going to put 110 for all of these. Press enter. So for the height, I want to come up to the roof height, which is going to be a little bit more than this. If I bring this up to 200, that's going to give me the correct height there. Just going to zoom out there slightly. See, what I might do is just have 2 horizontal counts on this. And for this one, I'm just going to have it offset. So I'm going to have a 300 on one side, and I'll have a 160 on the other. And if I zoom in here, okay, that seems to be lining up okay there. And that seems to be lining up okay there. Okay, so that looks pretty good, both sides. And my window is up full stretch. So I'm going to press Z and come back to solid, just come around here. What I'm going to do is select the empty here for this window and actually move it to first floor windows. I don't know why that comes in on that layer. And I'm going to drag this window back. So maybe something like this. And again, I'm just going to switch off the front elevation. So I'm going to select the cutter and just come up to the outliner and press the period key so we can see what number it's at. It's control hole number 3. So if I select this wall, I can add another boolean. It's going to minimize the ones I don't want. And if I click in here, I can type in CTRL and choose number 3 and set this to difference. Okay, and that sits into my wall there nicely. Okay, that's not too bad. And we can do the same thing for this one. I'm sure everybody can manage that one. Very same as this. The other thing I want to do is select this and add a doorway here. So I'm going to tab into edit mode. Just going to select an insertion point with these 2 verts here. Shift S, cursor to selected. And I'm going to come back to object mode. So if I come up to create, and if I come down to Archimesh, I'm going to choose panel window. Okay, I'm going to switch this then to a door, 80 by 230. And I'm going to increase the horizontal to 3, and I'm going to bring the vertical down to 1. I just want 1 panel. And for this, I'm going to set these to 110 and just check this one here. And for the height, I'm going to bring this up, I think, to 2 meters. So 200. And of course, we need to rotate this. So RZ -90. Press enter. Okay, if I press 7, I'll want to position this. So I'm going to select the empty, press Z and bring up wireframe. Just drag this back, maybe towards the back of this wall. I can zoom in there. That wouldn't be too bad. Maybe a little bit more on the X, so GX, and drop that in there, somewhere like that. Okay, so I can select my empty. I can come up to the outliner, press the period key. It's control hole number 4. So I'm just going to press Z and come back to solid. And if I select my wall, I can come over here and add a Boolean modifier to it. And again, just type in CTRL. And it's number 4, and it's going to be a difference. Okay, sometimes if it doesn't work, okay, there's carve to choose from, and sometimes that just works because it's calculating it differently. So I'd be pretty happy with that for the moment. Yep, that's pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to add a slightly shorter window over here, and let's take a look then. We have another window, so I'm going to press 7, press Z, bring up wireframe. If I select this section, I'm going to tab into edit mode, press A once or twice. I'm going to press B for box selection and press Shift S, cursor to selected. If I tab back to object mode, I'm going to come up to my Archipack this time, choose window. Okay, so we have a preset already, which is the side small window from the ground floor. I'm going to use this. Okay, so that comes in with my settings. So all I need to do is just rotate. So rotate on the Z by 90. You can see my light portal is shining inwards. Okay, so I can just come around here and I can have a look. So my height is a little bit wrong. So it's sitting a little bit too high, obviously. I need to reduce the altitude. So I'm just going to drag this down and maybe sit it at maybe 300 above that. Just reduce the altitude a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty good. And there's a couple more windows to put in. So there's one here, there's one here. There's a slightly longer one at the back. And I might actually add one here, but it's going to be exactly the same as that one there. And that's more or less it. That's the most complicated section for this out of the way. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and add the remaining windows using exactly the same approach. Okay, so that takes a little bit of time just to work your way right around. Okay, but otherwise I think that's going to do it for this one.